The year was 1973. Jack and Janet Smurl, a young couple with big dreams, moved their family into a duplex at 1426 Chase Street in West Pittston, Pennsylvania. They envisioned a bright future, a loving home for themselves and their 4 children, Dawn, Heather, Jackie, and Tommy. Little did they know, a sinister presence lurked within the very walls meant to protect them. The house on Chase Street held a dark secret, one that would soon torment the family and plunge them into a terrifying nightmare. Their new home was not a haven, but a prison. Their American dream was about to become a living hell. The family settled in, embracing their new life. At first, everything seemed normal. The children explored their rooms, their laughter echoing through the house. But beneath the surface, a darkness stirred. Something evil awoke. It watched, it waited, and it began to make its presence known. The disturbances began subtly, almost imperceptibly, like a whisper in the wind. Strange, musty odors wafted through the house, clinging to the furniture and clothes, as if the very air was tainted by something unseen. Water stains, seemingly appearing out of nowhere, marred the walls, spreading like dark, ominous shadows. The family dismissed these occurrences as mere annoyances, the quirks of an older home, not realizing the true nature of what was happening. However, the disturbances grew more frequent, more intense, as if the house itself was coming alive with malevolent energy. Unexplained noises pierced the night, footsteps creaking on the stairs, disembodied voices whispering in the darkness, sending chills down their spines. The shadows seemed to twist and contort, taking on menacing shapes in the periphery of their vision, always just out of clear sight. Fear, like a creeping fog, began to seep into their hearts, making every corner of the house feel like a lurking threat. One night the whispers escalated into terrifying growls, echoing through the halls with a ferocity that shook them to their core. The temperature plummeted, a bone-chilling cold enveloping the house, as if the very essence of warmth was being sucked out. Furniture moved on its own, sliding across the floor with an eerie grace, as if guided by invisible hands. The family huddled together, their faces pale with terror, as unseen hands shook their beds, pulled their hair, and scratched their skin, leaving marks of their torment. They were no longer alone in their home. The presence of something sinister was undeniable. They were being watched, tormented by an entity they could not see but whose presence they could no longer deny, a haunting reality they had to face. The entity grew bolder, its attacks escalating from unsettling to downright terrifying. What started as eerie whispers and cold drafts soon turned into a full-blown nightmare. Objects flew across rooms with violent force, narrowly missing the terrified family members. The once peaceful home now felt like a battleground with unseen forces wreaking havoc. The children, their innocence shattered, awoke screaming from nightmares, their small bodies covered in unexplained bruises and scratches. Their laughter was replaced by cries of fear, and their dreams turned into relentless horrors. Janet, the matriarch of the family, found herself pinned to the bed, her body paralyzed as an unseen force held her captive. She could feel the malevolent presence pressing down on her, suffocating her with its dark energy. She struggled against the invisible weight, her heart pounding in her chest, as a wave of icy terror washed over her. Every night became a battle for survival, with no end in sight. Jack, a strong and pragmatic man, found his skepticism crumbling in the face of the relentless assault. His logical mind could no longer deny the supernatural events unfolding before him. His wife and children, the people he loved most in the world, were being terrorized by something he couldn't explain, something he couldn't fight. The sense of helplessness was overwhelming. The family felt trapped, hunted in their own home. Every creak and shadow became a source of dread, and the walls that once provided safety now felt like a prison. They were prisoners of the paranormal, their lives spiraling out of control. The normalcy they once knew was shattered, replaced by a constant state of fear and anxiety. Desperate for help, they turned to the one source of comfort they had left, their faith. In their darkest moments, they clung to the hope that their prayers would bring them salvation. Seeking refuge from the relentless onslaught, the Smurls reached out to their church. A priest, armed with holy water and prayers, blessed their home, hoping to cleanse it of the evil that plagued it. For a brief moment, a fragile peace settled over the house. The family dared to hope that their nightmare was finally over, but their hope was short-lived. The demonic entity, enraged by their defiance, returned with a vengeance. The attacks intensified, becoming more frequent and more violent. The entity, no longer content with simply tormenting the family, began to reveal itself, manifesting as a shadowy figure with glowing red eyes. It spoke to them, its voice a guttural growl, threatening them, promising them pain and suffering. The family was living every horror movie cliché, but this was no Hollywood fabrication. This was their reality, a terrifying and inescapable nightmare. They were out of options, desperate for someone, anyone, to believe their story and help them reclaim their lives. Section 5. Enter the Warrens. Paranormal investigators take on the demonic entity. Word of the Smurl family's plight reached Ed and Lorraine Warren, renowned paranormal investigators who had dedicated their lives to battling the forces of darkness. Intrigued and concerned, the Warrens traveled to West Pittston to investigate the haunting. They entered the home, not with fear, but with a steely determination to confront the entity that held the family captive. Using their unique skills and equipment, the Warrens documented the paranormal activity, capturing eerie EVPs, electronic voice phenomena, and witnessing firsthand the terrifying events that had become the Smurl's daily reality. They determined that the entity was demonic, its power fueled by the fear and despair it inflicted on the family. The Warrens concluded that this was no ordinary haunting. This was a battle for the souls of the Smurl family. The stage was set for a confrontation between good and evil, light and darkness. Section 6. The Battle for the Smurl Family, Exorcisms and Spiritual Warfare. The Warrens, along with a Catholic priest, performed a series of exorcisms, their prayers and rituals filling the house. The entity fought back with terrifying ferocity, the air thick with tension and a palpable sense of dread. The battle raged for months, a grueling test of faith and endurance for both the Smurl family and those who had come to their aid. Objects flew through the air, furniture overturned, and disembodied screams echoed through the house as the entity resisted the exorcism rites. The family endured, their love for one another and their unwavering faith providing the strength they needed to withstand the onslaught. Finally, after countless prayers and an exhausting spiritual battle, a sense of peace descended upon the house. The demonic presence, weakened and defeated, retreated into the shadows. Section 7. Silence falls. Did the entity retreat or simply relocate? With the demonic entity seemingly vanquished, the Smurl family began to rebuild their lives, the trauma of their ordeal etched into their memories. The house on Chase Street fell silent, the air no longer thick with dread. The family, forever marked by their encounter with the paranormal, moved on, carrying the scars of their experience with them. But the question remained, was the entity truly gone, or simply lying dormant, waiting for the opportune moment to resurface? The haunting on Chase Street left an indelible mark on the family and the community, a chilling reminder that some mysteries defy explanation, even by those who dedicate their lives to understanding the unknown. Section 8. Skepticism and Belief. Debating the haunting on Chase Street. The Smurl family's story sent shockwaves through the small town of West Pittston and beyond, igniting a firestorm of debate and controversy. Skeptics dismissed their claims as elaborate hoaxes or the product of overactive imaginations, pointing to the lack of concrete evidence to support the family's claims. Believers, however, saw the Smurl's ordeal as a chilling example of the very real dangers lurking in the shadows, a reminder that the veil between our world and the paranormal is thin and easily breached. The debate raged on, fueled by sensationalized media coverage and conflicting accounts from witnesses. Was the Smurl family's haunting a genuine case of demonic possession, or a fabricated tale designed to gain notoriety? The answer, like the paranormal itself, remained elusive, shrouded in mystery and speculation. Section 9. The legacy of a haunting. Scars remain, questions linger. Years after the Smurl family fled their home on Chase Street, the legend of their haunting lived on, a cautionary tale whispered around campfires and shared in hushed tones among friends and family. It was a story that sparked fear and curiosity, debated in paranormal circles and among skeptics alike. The house itself stood as a silent testament to the horrors that allegedly unfolded within its walls, a stark reminder of the darkness that can lurk beneath the surface of the ordinary. Its decaying structure seemed to echo the screams and whispers of the past. The haunting on Chase Street forced us to confront the unknown, to question the boundaries of our reality, and to ponder the existence of the supernatural. It challenged our beliefs and left us grappling with the unsettling possibility that we are not alone, that unseen forces might be influencing our world. There are forces at play in our world that defy explanation, forces that can disrupt the very fabric of our understanding. Whether you believe the Smurl family story or dismiss it as a hoax, one thing is certain. Their experience serves as a chilling reminder that some mysteries are destined to remain unsolved, haunting our collective consciousness long after the last flickering light has been extinguished. The questions it raises linger, echoing in the minds of those who dare to ponder the unknown. The legacy of the Smurl Haunting is a testament to the enduring power of the unexplained, a story that continues to captivate and terrify.